Hey guys, welcome to Tone Bros. My name's Casey.
And I'm Colin. We're going to get started with our current topic of the day, which has to do with Gibson. They got a new release.
Yep.
It's a Les Paul special, not a special, double cut.
Yep.
They have a junior and a special though.
Yes.
And it's around $16.99, which is pretty good price, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, the junior is $16.99, the special is $19.99. And I think that the special is Guitar Center exclusive and Gibson exclusive. That's the only places I've seen it. Everywhere like Sweetwater, they've only got the junior double cut. So this is a guitar that's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I'm a sucker for specials. At least the SG special I played that one time blew my socks away. And every time I've seen one since, I've been out there playing specials. And there's something about the Les Paul special whenever I play it that maybe it's a little too close to a Les Paul. Maybe it's a little too close to like a standard junior that
It doesn't feel right.
it doesn't feel right. It's almost like it's, for me personally,
Right.
not that it's not a good guitar, because it is a good guitar, but it feels clunky, it feels boxy, and feels weird.
My big thing with a Les Paul special, like single cut, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I feel like the neck pickup way stronger than the bridge.
A lot of times it's way stronger, and a lot of times it just sounds like a blanket. You know what I mean? Like,
usually.
a lot of times in those double cut specials, and especially the SG special I played, it was really bright and focused. Not bright, but for a neck pickup, it was bright. It was really usable. A lot of times those Les Paul single cut specials, that neck pickup, I struggle to use it.
Right.
So I'm really interested in this. I've been down the junior and special hunt for a long time at this point. And you're probably sick of hearing about it.
Yeah, I kind of just wish you'd choose one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can talk about it.
Yeah.
So why don't you just go play an SG special,
Yeah.
a double cut special?
Just go play one. Find a shop with both of them.
Dude, yeah, there's nowhere you can find one.
No, and that's some of my
The
problem.
SG special.
That's some of my problem with finding them too, or playing them, and picking one out, is you just can't find them in a shop very often.
Well, not in the St. Louis area, which is weird to say because it's not like we're a small area.
No. And I've played Murphy Labs that I've really liked, and I've played the lower tier ones I've really liked. The problem is with the double cut specials especially. You know, we're talking about the junior and the special, but the specials in particular, they've only had the custom shop version. I guess the double cut junior's the same way.
I was about to say,
They've only
any double cut has not been like
Yeah.
a production model for at least a little bit. I think they did for a while, and it was when maybe their guitars weren't made as well.
Yeah, it was
In
like
15 or 16.
yeah, it was like 15, 16. They had double cut specials and juniors.
You know what you see everywhere is those old tributes.
And that's how they
And
made
I'm not a fan of those.
They made them as in tributes. So they were that like open grain. Yeah, they just,
Like the SG Faded, remember
Yeah.
that you used to have?
that's it.
It's kind of like that. And it was like, to me, it was just, it almost felt like an Epiphone. It didn't feel like a Gibson to me.
Yeah, I don't know that it felt like an Epiphone, but it felt like a guitar that wasn't finished.
Well, because it wasn't.
Yeah, kind of like that. Remember those BFG guitars they made for a while, Gibson made? They had like the spoon cuts out of the top, and I think the BFG stood for barely finished guitar. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true or not. But Zach Wilde had a bullseye one, and then there'll be a picture above. I'll have to stick it up here.
Okay. I don't remember those.
They were actually cool looking guitars. It was early 2000s. But I remember playing those and thinking the same thing, like, this thing does feel like it's not quite done.
Right.
It had a similar finish kind of as the Faded.
Well, you remember we played some 335s. They got that satin finish one.
Yep.
I like the satin finish one, actually. It's like, to me, the perfect marriage of like a not finished guitar, but has the appointments that you want. To me, the satin is done right.
It feels finished, but it doesn't feel like fancy.
Oh, no. It's not trying to be fancy. But to me, that is the exact line that you would want for an unfinished guitar.
Yeah.
Like the satin 335.
That's as far as I would go.
Right. The SG Faded, no. I don't want anything to do with that.
No, I had that one for years and played it for a long time. And when I got rid of it, I was like, you know what?
I don't miss that.
I think it was good that I got rid of that.
Yeah. No, but anyways, this double cut, the only thing that like might be a hang up for me would be the slim taper neck. Although I've got a slim taper SG. So
Yeah.
as long as it's the right guitar.
I've gotten wrapped around the axle about specs before, and I've been proven wrong. time after time after time.
Yeah, specs only mean so much.
I'm done with specs. Because there was a time where when I looked at a guitar, I would look at all the specs, and if there was one spec, especially like neck shape, boy, if the neck wasn't thick enough or the right shape, I was over it. I would be done looking at it.
Right.
I'm not doing that anymore. I don't care.
Right.
I've played a ton of guitars. My guitar I'm using the most right now is my Duesenberg. And its neck is not real thick.
It's kind of slim.
It's kind of a slim, tapered.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
You had, oh goodness, it was a Dean guitar, weird
ML.
shape.
ML.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, 79 ml.
Kind of reminds me of that.
It's kind of similar. It's definitely thicker than that one was.
Not by much though.
Not by a ton, but it was definitely thicker. It reminds me, honestly, it reminds me of a lot of the standard slim tapered neck Les Pauls that are out there. That thinner, like standard.
Yeah,
not
like a C.
Yeah, like a small C is what it kind of reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would have told me years ago that's going to be your main guitar and that you're going to be playing all the time, I'd be like, I am not doing that.
Well, to be fair, when you first started, you had a Jackson with the flattest neck of all time.
Super thin neck.
And then you went to a baseball bat Les Paul.
Yep.
So I think you just need to realize that necks are nothing.
I like all kinds of necks.
Yeah.
You know, all necks need loving.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. You got to like them a little chunkier. You got to like them a little slimmer.
A little thinner. Maybe the shoulders are bigger. Maybe the shoulders are smaller. You never know.
What the hell are they talking about?
All right, so what's on our mind? It has to do with kind of the follow-up with Captor X, which I don't know if we've clued them in other than your vlog video.
No, I don't think so.
We both bought Captor X's.
Yep.
And I'll be completely honest, I haven't even touched mine.
Boom, I pulled the trigger on it.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
We're not cowboys.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, anyways,
You haven't opened the box on yours.
I opened the box.
Okay.
That's about as far. Oh, and I bought some headphone cables
Yep.
and stuff like that. So, like,
Okay.
I mean, I've got the stuff. I have not reset it. I have not used it. Like,
Yeah.
this baby right now is starting to crawl.
Yep.
She started crawling this past week.
Yep.
I've realized I can't turn away for 50 seconds.
Mm-mm.
So, I haven't used it. So, you've gigged it.
Yeah.
Where are you at with it?
I've gigged it, I think, 4 times, maybe 3.
Hey, that's pretty good. I thought it was just like twice.
No, it's definitely 3, I think maybe 4 times now. So I've been really impressed and unimpressed at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm using it for, and I think a lot of people, I don't know if they're really using it this way, but okay, let's go back in history. Okay, let's take a trip. The Wayback Machine.
Okay.
And let's think about sound reinforcements and PAs. They used to call PA systems and live sound reinforcement. A band would get their sound on stage, and that would be 60% of what the crowd would hear. And the sound reinforcements and the PA would add the other 40% in.
Sure.
So my thoughts is I'm playing smaller venues for the most part, because guess what? I'm not a rock star playing giant amphitheaters.
It's you and one other player.
Yeah, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
And so what I'm doing is I'm going to use my amp with this Captor X. My thought was I'm going to turn my amp where I normally like it, but it's a little bit too quiet for the gig, or it's not a wide enough sound, cover enough ground, because I'm using a Fender Deluxe. And it's kind of beamy a little bit. Yes, it's got an open back, and it's not as beamy as like a closed back 112 cab, but it's still a little beamy, right? So I'm going to take that Captor X, and I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to add just 10% into the mains
Okay.
to fill out the rest of my sound.
All right.
I go to the gig, I plug it in, and I get my amp sound exactly how I want it. Because that's the biggest part of my sound, right? It's 80-90% of my sound. So I get it exactly where I want it. I'm like, oh, this thing sounds great. So I go over the Captor X, and I basically unmute myself off the main mixer. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And I go to the Captor X, and I flip the attenuation switch all the way down. So now I'm only hearing the Captor X version.
Totally different sound.
It's totally different, yes, and I expect it to be totally different. But I'm switching into there. But what's cool about the Captor X is you can flip that off. So your speaker basically goes silent now, and now you're just hearing the mains. So I don't even use that for like an attenuator. And I have the chance in the future to use it to go just straight direct. But that's not my goal. My goal is to flip that thing down and listen to the mains. Listen to the mains. It doesn't sound like my amp. It sounds like my amp, but it sounds like my amp through a different speaker cabinet.
I mean, which is what it is.
It's exactly what it is. So I flip through a couple of my presets that I've got, and I find the preset that I like the most, and I adjust the little tone. I've got the little space knob on the Captor X. I get all that stuff exactly where I want it. And then I flip off that attenuation on my on that Captor X. And then I'm like, okay, let's hear all of it together. And I hit a chord, and I'm just like, brr, and it gets so wide.
Oh, okay.
Gets so wide. It feels like it just like, I don't know.
I got a question for you.
It feels almost like running two different amps. You know how so many players use two different amps to get two different EQ frequencies? It kind of feels
It's like running
that.
two different cabs with two different speakers.
Yeah.
My question is, whenever, because you played 4 gigs, for each space that you go into, do you do a different preset, or have you been on the same one?
I was on the same preset for all of them except for 1 gig. And I changed the preset mainly because I wanted to. I wanted to try something different.
Sure.
Not necessarily because I thought, like, both of them sounded equally good. But I was like, you know what? I've been using this one. I'm going to switch to this preset and use this tonight.
Do you feel like, depending on the room, you have to change it, or not at all?
I don't think you have to if you find good presets. In that little vlog I done, I just threw some generic presets in there. I've completely changed the presets that are in there to match with my deluxe a little bit more.
Sure.
Because I was just kind of wanting to see what it done and kind of some different sounds. But I don't think you have to change the presets for every single room. However, I think it's a good idea maybe to have 2 presets per amp if you're using different amps with it. That way you've got like, well, this is a little bit more of a low end kind of thing. And then the other presets maybe like, oh, the low end's kind of rumbly in this venue.
Right. Almost like a mid-focus
I
type.
want to kind of cut some of the bass out of here. Maybe this one's EQ'd to have a little less bass in it.
Right.
Or it's got more SM57 style mic in there.
That's kind of what I figured.
I think that is really all you need.
2.
Yeah, have 2 for each amp. Because that voicing knob also is so like, holy cow, you can go from really scooped to really mid-focused.
What about the space knob or spacing or whatever?
That's cool. You can change what that controls. You can change a couple different parameters, like the width of the EQ or like the amount of EQ, like how wet or dry it is. Yeah. And I set all of them to be how wet or dry it is.
So how much do you like move that during the gig? Those knobs?
0.
You just set it and forget it?
What I do is I get my amp sound exactly like I mentioned earlier. Get my amp sound exactly like it is. Flip the attenuator switch all the way down.
Yeah.
Where my amp is basically silent. And I listen to the mains and I tweak it and adjust it exactly where I want to. Yeah. And I flip it on and listen to my sound and make sure that it's equal and not one sounds radically different than the other.
What I'm saying is, like, you know how through the night, like, you start EQing your amp a little different?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to do that with the Captor X?
I'm probably not the right person to talk to.
Because you like to set it and forget it.
Because I'm so familiar with my deluxe at this point. I know where I want that EQ. Every once in a while, I got to go over and I got to cut a little bit more bass than I think I need to.
Well, that's the perk of a deluxe. When you got a tweed deluxe, you got to adjust some things.
I do think it would be very easy, though, on the fly, to walk over and just tweak that voicing, tweak that space. I don't think you're going to have to tweak the space at all. Once you get the amount of reverb and stuff you want,
right.
You're pretty well done.
It's more the
it's the voice control. And basically, I get it where I enjoy it at noon every time. And if I get playing a gig and I'm like, man, I'm really too mid-focused, too bright or something, I might move the voicing knob to the right, which is going to scoop those mids a little bit. And if I'm like, I'm not cutting through quite enough through the mains, I can tell my amp is, but not through the mains, cut it to the left just to like 10, 11 o'clock, and it's enough mids to push through.
All right, we're really getting in the weeds.
We are. It's what it's for.
Yeah, real quick, what is the speaker in the cab that you use the most? Like for your deluxe?
What I'm using the most is I'm using Two Notes' 2 Rock with a G1265.
Okay.
It's a 212 cab with the G1265. It was in that video, but I've tweaked it a ton, changed the mics on it and the venue and stuff. Mm-hmm. However, that's what I'm using the most. My speaker has a G1265 warehouse guitar speaker version of it. It's a ET65. It's really close to it, but it's definitely not the same.
Sure. But that's what you got right now.
It's what I'm using right now. I'm going to buy a few more different IRs that are out there. I've been looking at some different things. I'm going to try them out. However, right off the bat, with that deluxe, I'm pretty freaking happy with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Well, I guess I'll use mine eventually.
Yeah, you need to.
I'll get there.
Stop using that mic.
To be fair, I've been playing a lot of acoustic gigs.
Yeah.
So, like, right now, I've not messed with it at all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You'll get your chance to.
Yeah, I'll get there.
You want to go ahead and move to the main topic?
Yep. We're going to switch gears, guys. So, I have been curious. You've been curious.
Yeah.
Everyone swears by the Analogman modded TR-2 from BOSS.
Who's everyone?
Okay, Nashville guys.
Yeah, a lot
At
of
least,
mashed
at least Uncle Larry.
Uncle Larry. I mean, you can start naming the people, but it's like if you start looking, I mean, it's on everyone's board.
There's a lot of people that have it, and with the world that you have these MD200s, like we're gonna show.
Yep.
I've got an HX1.
Yep.
We've got the Harmonious Monk. We've got Strymon Flints. A lot of people still use this TR2.
And a lot of people are using the Analogman modded one specifically.
Yeah. So we just are curious, and we're like, all right, what makes this special?
And a lot of guys are using it with a deluxe reverb or a pro reverb,
Right.
or something that's got tremolo in it.
Yeah.
Why are they using it?
So really, what we want to do is we want to try this TR2 first of all,
Yeah.
see how we like it, but we want to compare it to the amp tremolo.
Yep.
And just something simple like an MD200 that's kind of like a multi-effects type thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm just curious, like, why would they still have it when they got amp tremolo?
Right.
So, but anyways,
Find out.
we're going to try it out and see what we think.
Yeah, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back here with you. We've got everything all set up.
We think.
We think. You know what? Sometimes there's glitches in the setup.
You know, sometimes we're the glitch in the setup.
Yeah, it's usually our fault that we're the glitch, or there is a glitch. So anyway, we've got my Duesenberg set up here. We're running it into the pedal board, as you guys can see down below, hopefully. And we've got a tuner. We've got the Dane overdrive, dual overdrive into the open road. We got the MD200 into the BOSS TR-2 modded by Analogman.
Yep.
We're running all that into the deluxe reverb reissue. It's got the ET65 speaker in it. I said that weird.
You did.
And then we've got it mic'd up with the SM57 going straight in the interface. No weird EQing or tweaking afterwards. So, where do we want to start with this? Do we want to start with the amp?
No. I want to try the TR2, just in general.
I didn't know if we need to get a bass line
No.
for just the amp
No.
first.
Well, we'll just do a clean sound, but with reverb, no tremolo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neck pickup. Let's start this thing out, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, it can get choppy.
Yep.
It can be real smooth.
Yep.
It's a very drastic tremolo.
It is, the waveform really changes a lot. Like if you drag that waveform from one side to the other,
Yeah.
huge change.
Big difference. All right, let's try the amp trim
Okay.
because I'm just curious. So we're gonna go to the TR2 first.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear it, and then I'll switch to the amp trim.
Are we trying to match the TR2 or you just
No,
want to
I just want to get a vibe.
Okay.
We can try to match if you want, but at first I just want to get a vibe for it.
What do we got?
Intensity for the trim is at a 6. Speed's at a 3.
Yeah, because those Fender tremolos are pretty
Now,
quick.
I will say I'm going to match the speed
Okay.
because that will drive me nuts if I don't. So, but other than that,
He's going to perfectly match the speed.
okay, I'll do my best. All right. So, here's the TR2.
As a side note, you found the knob straight up. Is that your favorite?
It's just a good sound, man.
Okay, it might be his favorite. Takes a little bit. It's got to fade out, right?
Yeah. All right. So here's what I noticed.
Yeah.
The amp
Yep.
is much more. It's almost like a vibrato. Like, not exactly. I mean, it doesn't change your pitch or anything.
Okay.
It's a very smooth wave.
Pretty smooth.
I feel like. Now, if you turn the intensity up, it can get choppy, right?
And you can smooth that analog
you can
man
smooth
out.
that out. This is actually, I feel like when you click that on, you actually get a little volume boost.
I don't, but keep going.
I feel like that, and it's a little more drastic. Like if you want a tremolo to be heard, it should be this one.
Which one?
Oh yeah, forgot. It should be the TR-2.
Yeah.
If you want it drastic. If you want something that's more of a vibe, the amp.
Okay, so here's what I feel. I feel like, and this is something I've noticed in gigs whenever I used to use my foot switch on my amp. And guess what? I don't use, this is going to move into the next pedal here in a second, but I don't use my foot switch anymore because it's a pain in the butt to haul out. It's kind of a little bit of a logistics thing.
One cable is a lot of...
No, but it's only a certain length, and you've got to have the special cable for this and this
Oh, it is only a certain
foot
length.
switch and all this stuff. It's kind of a pain. It doesn't roll up well. Lots of reasons. It's easier just to have your tremolo on a board. Second reason is whenever I click that tremolo on, I love the sound of it in like soloed, like here by myself. What's the word I'm looking for?
When you're playing at home.
Yeah, when I'm playing at home, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a word I was looking for, I missed. But I loved the sound of it there.
Yeah.
But whenever I went to a gig and I'd turn it on,
Couldn't hardly hear it.
I was like, whoa, not only could I not hardly hear it, I'd have to crank the intensity up, and I felt like I got quieter. And that's what I just heard there. I definitely get quieter when that vibrato,
Well, and maybe
tremolo
that's what I
turns
was
on.
thinking about the TR-2.
The
has a little
TR-2 doesn't get a boost in my mind, but it stays the same volume.
unity. Yeah.
It's unity. He's got a little trim pot on the inside of there that is a volume control. And you can turn it up. You can get it put on the outside externally, but I didn't want that because I just wanted it set at unity and I'm done.
Sure.
But you can have it where it boosts or it drops out a little bit. However, he sets it unity in there. And it does sound unity to me. When I turn it on, yes, it's a little bit more intense, but not crazy more intense. And I think for a mix, it will poke out more.
Actually, I can turn the depth down.
And you can. But what the biggest thing I notice is it feels like big and warm and full still. And sometimes when you click that tremolo on the amp, it felt like it got smaller and quieter to me.
Right. Yeah, it's like it sits back in the mix more.
Yeah. Which can be good.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and move on to the MD200 and get that set up.
Yeah, so let's do, what I want to do is start with the amp, we'll go to the TR-2, and then I'll go to the MD200, and just kind of see where we're at with things.
Okay, let's do it.
What are your thoughts?
There's something about that TR-2. It's got a vibe.
Oh my gosh. You're drinking the Kool-Aid, man. In my ears, the MD200, I mean, I'm not feeling it in the fingers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not playing it, so I'll give you that.
Right, and I'm trying to play just big open chords. It might sound a little bit boring, but I think to hear a good tremolo, that's what it needs. If I play a bunch of licks and stuff, I feel like I'm getting the vibe.
The TR-2, I think you can set the MD200 to be closer to the TR-2.
The MD200 is much closer to this TR-2 than the amp's tremolo.
I would say, when I'm listening to all three, I would prefer the Boss pedals than the amp.
I would too.
I feel like there's more vibe in the Boss pedals than the amp, which is really weird to say.
Yeah, I feel the same way. This is a tube-driven tremolo in a Fender amp, and I feel like there's some type of vibe in these Boss pedals.
I think the MD200, you can get it, because we didn't mess with hardly any of the parameters.
No.
So, like, for us to say the TR2 is better than MD200, I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's necessarily better. Even, okay, so turn the intensity down on the TR2. There's clarity. There's clarity to that TR2. Do you hear that? Or is that just me?
Is it the buffer?
Well, maybe. Analogman does make more changes than just boosting that volume. Is he changing something in the buffer? Is he changing something in there? But did you hear that, or was I going wild?
I think the notes, I don't know if it's a clarity as much as it is like intensity and depth. Like just the right combination.
Yeah.
I'm not saying 6/7, okay?
Oh my gosh. Oh, talking like my kids.
Yeah, I'm not saying 6/7. What I am saying is that I really do think that the MD200, if I don't know how to work that pedal.
I know, it's mine.
Like, looking at those knobs scares me.
It's not bad. It's pretty simple. You've got a rate, a depth, an effects level. And then you've got these parameters.
Where's the intensity?
Well, each one of the... See, this is the tricky part. Because
each one of those things is different.
Each one of the effects, these parameters change.
I know. See,
so that's trim. You go here, it goes to pan.
Yeah,
so
I don't want that.
You can forget that one then. And then this one...
We don't know.
Let's find out.
Speed?
No, it's got a rhythm to it. That's tone.
Yeah, tone. We had the TR2 on the whole time.
Okay, let's...
Hey, we're not saying we're professionals, folks.
Okay, so let's
try this again.
Let's try this.
I truly think it's volume.
Well, and then we can affect the level. I don't think it's just volume. I think there's a richness to the TR2 that the MD200 doesn't have. But let me tell you something. Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but let me tell you something. I think it is 5%.
Yeah.
Maybe 10%.
I would say if you had the MD200, there's no point in buying something different.
And maybe it's just feel. Maybe it's a feel thing more than it is a audible thing. I do hear some audible sound differences, but I definitely can feel a difference.
Let me just put a caveat. This is in the room. So when we record this,
Who knows?
could be a lot different.
Could be huge differences in the audio. I'll be curious to hear it. But I'll tell you what, I get it. I get it.
I understand for the studio musician, for sure, because that 5%,
It's everything.
it is.
It's everything. It's 5%.
Yeah.
I think that I can understand why so many players go to the Analogman modded TR-2.
And we don't know the difference, obviously, between the regular and the Analogman. We just got the Analogman. I would say the MD200 should be a decent approximation, though.
I think it's very close to what a standard TR-2 is. And I think it gets you 90, 95% of the way there. But there is something special, I think, it feels like, to that TR-2. Whatever Analogman does, I don't know if he's changing buffers or something. It definitely feels like there's more clarity, more bigness. Yes, the intensity's a little bit more and the volume's a little bit more, but you can affect the volume in the MD200 and get it just the same level, and I'm not sure it's the same.
I will say, audibly, I do prefer the TR-2. The Analogman version.
And let me tell you something, I prefer both of those over the amp.
Which is so weird to say. Like, I really didn't expect it to go this way.
No, I didn't either. I honestly thought, well, the amp drops, because I knew the amp dropped a little bit of volume. I honestly thought, well, the amp drops a little bit of volume, but if you put a boost on it, it'll feel the same.
We can try it.
And we can try it.
Let's try it.
Okay.
We're here.
Let's set up the Dane to be a boost, because it's a pretty clean boost.
Where's the boost?
Let me try to play something that's audible.
The boost adds a different EQ to it.
It changes it.
If we had an EQ pedal, it might be a little closer. Like, just set everything flat.
Maybe.
Besides the level.
I mean, we can do that, but then we're getting into what does the buffer and the EQ pedal and the preamp.
When you could just have 2 clicks, or just 1 click instead of 2 clicks, then.
And yeah, it's imparting its own EQ into it, but I still don't know if you got it completely flat, if it would still have the same vibes.
I would also say that the amp, it still feels a little more rounded when it.
It does.
You know what I mean? It's still, I mean, it's a good sound. I'm not saying it's bad sound.
There's a
I would say that's closer.
It's closer, but let me tell you something. Boss has been around and had this stuff going on.
They have been around.
For a reason.
Yeah, they've gotten around for a reason.
And there's a reason why the TR-2 has been the same freaking pedal on so many pedal boards, no matter if it's Analogman modded or not, for so long.
Yeah.
I think the new TR-2s, they've kind of equaled out some of this volume boost too.
Yeah.
Or volume drop.
Here's a question. Why no Waza?
They feel like they don't need it.
Why no Waza TR-2?
I feel like they don't need it.
Well, this pedal has been selling like hotcakes.
Well, they say, I think in the new ones, that they fixed the volume drop. So there's no need for a Waza.
Well, they need better marketing, because I didn't catch that memo.
Yeah, they said that same thing about the G7. The new G7s are supposed to have a lower noise floor. However, once again, everybody's still using those Analogman and XTS modded ones.
Something different.
Anyway, let us know in the comments down below what you guys think. If it's me, I'm picking the TR-2. But if I need more than, like, if I need a small board with a bunch of stuff on it, I'm going to go MD200.
Yeah. I am also curious. I've got an HX1.
Yeah.
And that's another video for another time, obviously. Yep. The MD200 and the HX1's tremolo.
Yeah, I want to try a bunch of their effects, comparing them, because they're kind of the same form factor-ish.
They're very generic sounding, so I have a feeling it's not going to like be as good as the MD200. But you know what? I could be wrong. So
yeah. Okay. Well, let us know down below. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.